What's up guys, Matty here. So in this video I wanted to show you all the shortcuts that I consider are the most useful when I'm coding in IntelliJ. I've been using IntelliJ for I would say 10 years and it's been for me the best IDE I've used for Java. It's an incredible tool. It has a ton of shortcuts and helps for the developers, and using it effectively can increase your productivity 100%. So I encourage you to use as many shortcuts as you can and learn as many as you can, because you will increase your productivity a lot and you will notice the difference immediately. So, and I will also teach you some techniques that I use that allow you to create new classes and methods with just a few commands. So welcome to Programming with Mati. Alright, so I have created an empty project and I'm going to teach you how to use the best IntelliJ shortcuts. So first thing we have to do is we're going to create a class, and I'm going to be using a shortcut for this, Command N, and in here I have the list of all the things I can create. I'm going to create a Java class. This is a Java project. So I'm going to say simply person, okay, and it's going to be a record. And so now I have a record. I'm going to add quickly the first name, string, last name, and local date, and this is going to be the date of birth. Cool. So now we have a person and it has these three attributes. So now I want to create some methods for this person. So what should I do? Because I use TDD, I'm going to create a test for this person. But I'm not going to go here and create a new class and it's going to be a test class and all that. I'm going to be more efficient. And if you had to learn at least one shortcut from this lesson, you had to learn the Option Enter shortcut. This is the best shortcut by far in IntelliJ because it's an intelligent shortcut. Depending on the context, it will do different things. So in this context, for example, I can create a test, but in other contexts I can do other things, and we'll see different things that we will do with this. But for now, I'm going to just do Option Enter, or if you are in PC in Windows, you can use Alt Enter, and you can click on Create a Test. And this, it will open this prompt here, and it will show you the different testing libraries that you have available, and the name of the class, and the methods that you want to test. I'm going to just create it empty. And yes, I am adding it to the project. And as you can see, I don't have JUnit in my POM, so I don't have it as a dependency. So I can go on and add it as a dependency, but that takes a long time. So what I'm going to do is, instead of adding it as a dependency manually, I'm going to go here, and with Alt Enter or Option Enter, I can add JUnit directly into my Maven project. So now it's being added to my Maven project, and I had to refresh Maven, so I can do that by simply clicking on Shift, Command, and I. And that, as you can see here, it refreshed my Maven dependencies. So now I have JUnit 5, and it's all done through shortcuts. Now I can do a test, and let's just say void test, and the method that I'm going to create is age at a particular date. So I'm going to call it age at, and so this is the method I want to create. I want to know the age of a person at a particular date. So how I am going to create this method, I'm going to create the method even though it doesn't exist. I'm going to create it from here. You'll see how. So first I'm going to say I'm going to create a new person. So I'm going to say new person. And I'm just going to call Mati Salerno. And the date of birth, local date. And just, yeah. I was born in 1990. 117. Okay. So now, how do I put this into a variable? Very easy. I can do option, command, and B. And this creates a variable called person. I can do all sorts of things. I can extract the date, for example, as well. So I can extract that as a variable. And this is Mati's date of birth. You see? So, and I can extract anything. I can extract this as a variable as well. You see? The year. I can extract it as a constant. For example, the year I was born is a constant. It's not going to change anywhere. So I'm going to, I can put it as a constant. And in this case, instead of doing option command B for variable, I can put it with option command C as a constant. So I could say my year of birth. I don't care. I don't really care putting it into a constant, so I'm going to put it back where it was. But this is very useful. And you can also extract it as a field in your class. So for example, if I want this to be a field in my class, I can basically do option command and F for field. So you see? So now I have a field called this. I'm going to go back because I don't really care about that. But this is extremely useful. I use extract variables and extract fields and extract constant all the time. These are my favorite refactors. And there's another one called extract method that we'll use later in the video, but it's also amazing. So now we can do person age at local date, and let's just say 2001 and 6. Okay, and this is going to return a number. But okay, so I don't have this method. So how do I create this method? I could go to the person class, and I can do that with doing shift, and I can say person, and I'm going here in the person class. Another way I can do that, I can, if I am standing on a person class mention, I can do command B, and I can travel there. And if I want to go back, I can do option command and the back arrow. You see? I can go forward with the forward arrow. So command option forward arrow, back and forth all the time. And then, okay, I want to create this method. So as I said before, I could go here and I could write public and then all that. But it's a lot of writing to do. Or I could basically do option enter, and it's going to suggest create a method because this method is missing. So it suggests that I created. So it suggests it there, and now I can change the return time. For example, it's going to be int. Then I already have this because I was sending the date as a parameter, so I don't have to worry about the parameter. And then I have different suggestions for names of variables. So I'm going to use date. Okay. So now I can extract this into a variable as well. And this is age. And I can do a set equals. And the expected age for this date, if I am correct, it should be 9. So I'm going to say just 9. And then the actual age is age. So I have to run this test now. And to run the test, I can go here with option command R for running, and I am in person test age at. And now I can run this test, and it's not passing because the method age at is not implemented. It's just returning 0. So now I want to implement this. So how do we implement it? We could say basically period between and the date of birth, and the date sent as a parameter. And this returns a period. So from the period, so how do I know it returns a period? I can extract this. You see, this is a period. And I can do get years. So now I should be good. And if I run this again, remember, I used option command R for running. And that's it. It works now. So this is great. So now I want to implement a new method. And in this new method, I'm going to say test and void test age today. So the new method is going to be the age for today. So in this case, what I want to do is I'm going to create a new person, random name, and it's going to be born 4 years from now, right? And I want to do a person age today, and that's it. There's no parameters. So now I don't have this method either. So how do I do that? Remember, option enter, and now this returns an int, and I can basically use my old method. So I could say age at and just send local date now. So now that I am using this, I'm going to remember, I'm going to put this in a variable. Remember, it's option command B, and I'm just saying age today, and then a set equals, and it should be 4 really, because I moved 4 years from now. So age today, and I can run this with option command R, and there you are. This works. No, I didn't run the right test. I can run the whole person test if I want. So now it's working. This is great. So you see how easy it is for me to create new things and move around the IDE. I don't really need to use the mouse a lot. I just need to know the proper shortcuts. And shortcuts are really easy to learn. You just have to use them. And once you start using them, they become part of you, and you just know how to use them. But remember, if you have to at least take one of the shortcuts from this lesson is option enter or alt enter, because this is suggesting all the time different things. You see, there's a lot of things that you can do with just one. You see, you can split the declaration from the assignment. It's just a lot of things that you can do with it. It can suggest, for example, corrections on typos. I mean, there's so much that you can do with only one shortcut. You can create new methods. new classes. So it's just amazing. So now we're going to be creating a new method that is going to basically tell me who is older than who. So test older than, let's just say. Right, so this is 5 years and this one is 4 years. So person 2 should be older. So now we want to say assert true person 2 older than person. And again, we don't have this method, so remember, option enter and create method older than in person. So this creates it in the proper class. It's already a boolean, and this is a very cool thing because we are using assert true, which expects a boolean. So this is already a boolean. So I don't have to type in the type. And person, I don't really like this. I could call it other. Yeah, that's fine. And now I can say basically other. Sorry. This date of birth is before other date of birth. So if this date of birth is before the other date of birth, then it means it's older, right? So let's run this. And again, I can run it with many different options. I could do option command R, and I got this. Or if I'm on the title of the test, I can do option enter, and I get this. So this is a very cool feature as well. Option enter, remember, this is the best shortcut. And it works. I can run all the tests if I want. Person test. And it works. So now we have this method as well. We can also add another assertion. Could be set false. And we could say person is older than person 2. So if I run this again, and it works. So now I'm going to add a new field to our class, which is going to be a list of tasks. Assign task. Right? So, oops. Should be here, and I'm going to say person, new person. I'm just going to copy this. Just going to copy this from here, and I'm going to put this into a variable, and I'm going to say person dot assign new task, and the task is going to have an ID. Should be an integer. And just a description could be create tasks API. All right, so I don't have the class task. So what do? That's right. Option enter, and it's going to say create class task. I could create an inner record. I could do anything. So I'll say create class task. And it's already offering me to create a constructor. So I could say, all right, yeah. So this would be ID, and this would be the description. So I don't have fields for this. So what do I do with this? I could do option enter, and I could say simply create field for this parameter. Now I have a field for this. And the same with option enter, create field, and it's already assigned for me. Okay, so the other thing I can do is I can add with option N, sorry, with command N, I can create getters and setters, for example. So I could do that. And now that I created the getters and setters, this is suggesting me, why don't you turn this into a record? Which is exactly what I want. And how do I do that? Remember, Option Enter, convert to record. And you see, fascinating. Remember, Option Enter, it's all you need. And now with Option Enter, I'm going to create the assign. Okay, so this is going to be a void. I'm going to use the task. Why is oh, this is created in the wrong package, so this could fail. I didn't look in the package I was creating it, but yeah. So now now I have this, and this should be a task. So now what we want to have is a list here. So I'm going to add a list of tasks. And I need to import this. How do I import this? Option Enter. And it's automatically imported for me. All right. But now I have a problem. So the problem is that I'm using the constructor with 3 fields. So I'm going to create a constructor with 3 fields. Person. So I want to use only these 3 fields. So what I can do to use them is I can step here. Let's say I want to select the 3 fields. So I can do, if I do Option twice, very quickly, and then I start moving the cursor, I get multiple lines cursor. So let me just show it again. You see? I'm stepping here with 1 line, and I do Option twice, and then I move the cursor and I get multiple lines. And now I can move between the different lines at the same time, and I can type at the same time if I want. You see? Or I can select things at the same time. Sorry. I can select things at the same time as well. So for example, I want to select the parameters. I can do this. So let's say I want to copy these 3 fields for the constructor. I can put this like this. I can go to the constructor and say like this. You see? Very easy. And now I can use the other constructor. I can use the parameters like this, remove the classes names, and at the end I can say a new array list. And that's it. So I have the new constructor, and I created it using the multi-line. Remember, to use the multi-line, you can do Option twice and then hold it, and you can select as many as you want. This is really, really useful. So now I don't have any problems because I'm using this constructor in my test, and I have the tasks. So now I want to assign the task. So how do I do that? I can do tasks.add and task. That's it. So now I have this, and I could do person tasks size. So I set equals, and it should be 1. So if I run this test now, it works. So now we can do another test where we add 2 tasks. Let's just say task 2, and it's creates a person API. And we can do a new method. I have to change the name for this. It's going to be find by ID. Find let's just say find task by ID. And this is going to say assign, no, not assign, find task by ID. And let's just say 2. And this is going to return something, but not now. So I'm going to say create method again with option enter and optional task, and this is the task ID. So task ID. Okay, so now I can do return tasks stream, and I can do find filter, and the filter is going to be task ID equals task ID. Like that. And then find first. So find first already returns an optional, so I don't need to do anything else. So let's go quickly here, and I can assign this optional task, and I can do assert true optional task is present, and then assert equals, and let's just put task 2, like I'll put it in a different variable, but I'm doing option command V, and option command V task 2. So I can say task 2 is the expected value, and optional task dot get should give me task 2 as well. So if I run this test, remember option enter, run the test, it works. It's amazing, right? We're doing a lot of coding, and it's all going really fast because we have a lot of shortcuts in IntelliJ. I love this. So now I want to refactor this method. So I can do, because this predicate here is a little bit verbose. So I'm going to just extract this as a method. So to extract this as a method, this is really simple, but I'm going to show you first what you would do to do it manually. So you would basically say, for example, by ID and task ID, right? And then you would create a method. You could use option enter like this, and it will create that method. So at least it's not that bad. And then return, and you return the lambda, and that works, right? But we want to do it even faster. So how do we do that? Let's just remove everything and go back to our original thing. Now we can do option command M for method, and this will extract a method, and we just call this by ID. So you see it's creating a method down here called by ID, and it already has the return type, the name, and everything. So how cool is this? This is just awesome. So now I have refactored this method that I extracted this. So now I have stream filter by ID and then find first. So now if I go back and I run this again, it works. So you see all the different shortcuts that we've learned. I can go here, I can do run person test, and wow, everything works. So this is just amazing. This is just amazing because we have created all this code and we have used the IDE shortcuts everywhere. If you want to learn all these shortcuts, the best thing that you can do is just try to memorize them and use them. So you can use them in your daily job, or you can create new coding challenges and then just try to use the shortcuts as much as you can, and they will be natural for you at some point. And if you had to learn at least one shortcut from this lesson, I would say learn Option Enter and try to use it everywhere. So step on anything and just say Option Enter and it will give you something. Step on the name of the test, for example, and it will give you something. Another cool thing that you can do with Option Enter is, let's say you want to create a new class, an interface, for example. So you do Command N and you put new, and this is going to be an interface. So let's just call it something walking entity, right? Something that can walk. And let's just add here void walk. Okay, so now I want to implement this. So how can I implement it? I can go here and I can say Option Enter, and I can say implement interface, and this will create a new class. But I don't want to do this. I want to implement it in the person task. So actually I can do so I go to the person class and I go here to the top and I just implement walking entity. Okay, so now it's saying, okay, you have to implement the methods for walking entity. And you would go to the bottom and say, okay, public void walk and all that crap. Or you can go to the top and just say, okay, Option Enter, implement methods. So anything that is any method that needs to be implemented for this interface, you can do that. So implement walk. Now I could say, how can I print something? I have a shortcut for printing stuff as well. So you would say system out print line, and such a long thing, but you can say sout. So s out, and then it will put a print line there. And you could say let's just say, for example, is walking and formatted, and let's just put here first name. Okay, now you see there is a it's underlined with yellow. This is because it's suggesting something, an optimization here. So instead of doing this, I could say Option Enter, and what is the optimization? Okay, it's saying you could replace this formatted with printf. I'm going to do that. So it's using printf now. And you see now I can, let's say I want to test this now. So I want to create a main class. So Java class main, and I'm going to do it in a main class, right? I want to create a main class and I want to create a main method. So how do I create a main method? I would have to write public static void main string and all that. Or I could do psvm. Boom. I know, right? It's awesome. And now I can do new person, Mati, Sadana, and just born now. I can put this into a variable, and then I can do south. No, not south. I'm just going to say person walk. And if I run this with option enter, it says Mati is walking. What else we can do? We can do a lot of things. Let's go to the person test. Let's just implement a new method. And I can do test void test find test full name, right? And let's just say let's not bar, sorry, person and Mati Salerno and local date now. So I put this into a variable, then I do person full name, and then I'll create this method, and this is going to return a string first name plus last name, and I'm going to put a space here, so plus, and there we go. And if I do option enter here, I can change these to use different things. For example, I could use a string builder, or I could use formatted, and these are optimizations, right? So this is all with option enter. So if I do option enter here, now I have a format for the first name and last name. So I have the full name here. So now I can use this method, full name, and then I can do assert equals, and the expected full name would be Mati Salerno, and then the actual full name. And then let's run this. Brilliant. So now we can see how easy everything is using these shortcuts. So remember, use the shortcuts, use them and use them and use them, and you'll be so much more productive than if you were just clicking on everything and creating everything by typing. The least you want to do is type. Believe me, you just want to use these shortcuts as much as you can. And remember, command option enter is everything for you now. Remember, option enter. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notifications every time there is a new video. Bye!